Good morning, good evening, good night. No matter where you are on this planet, I'm sending you love and light. God has taken the blinders off of me. Very recently, I had to switch from TikTok to YouTube. I had my platform removed. Over 3 years of work, 160,000 followers, breaching that number. And my content, it was not offensive. It was not harmful. But the things that I talk about, the truth, my perspective, I believe that it was doing harm to the matrix, this system that we call life. And I was removed. So I took time to reevaluate and recalibrate, and the spirit still got me working. So I want to talk about some universal laws and the scientific application and how it correlates to the spiritual realm, because we live in a multifaceted plane. It's not just the flesh. Now, the law of vibration can easily be summed up to this: your mind and your heart. So as it relates to God, for example, if you pray for a blessing, a large platform, a new car, the perfect significant other, yada, 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 you might actually be dedicating, tons of energy towards manifesting this reality. But if your spirit is out of alignment with the prayer, it should become more conceivable to the people then as to why certain blessings aren't bestowed upon us. The simplest way to illustrate my point of view in this is who we are as a person contradicts the energy that we send in the universe or God or what have you. Something I picked up on is that the universe and God for sure is certainly not a being of contradiction. Everything has a place and everything has a purpose. So I feel, from where I sit at the table, that everyone should have direction and purpose in their own lives. This is actually the perfect segue into inspired action. How can you have an intuitive spiritual sense of when to take action or to hold your proverbial hand in this game of life, right? Without a divinely driven purpose guiding you? You can't. Now, an atheist, for example, can still have inspired action, motivation. But if we're thinking in terms of agnostic, people who don't believe, people who are religious but don't have a strong spiritual sense, or spiritual people who don't have a strong spirit, you're bound to repeat certain trials and tribulations in life because you're not walking in spirit. You're not able to see how this is another test, right? A test of your ego, a test of your mind, right? So that it could be a testament, right? We got to test the mind, test the men, so you can have a testament. You understand what I'm saying? And you can't have that without a spiritual guidance. You can't have that without your gut instinct. You can't have that without your heart, without being tuned to that heart chakra and being able to receive this information when you're faced with certain trials and tribulations, certain circumstances and situations. You have to know that this is the truth. Moving past that, just because you don't believe in a thing, for y'all who don't mean that it don't believe in you, and it don't mean that it don't work through you. My perspective is you need to enhance your intuitive perception. And this is for the atheists, the people who don't believe in whatever, or people who believe in whatever, but it's not actually helping you, and it might actually be some evil intent in that ideology. Develop a strong spiritual sense, and you'll know if you're not walking in the right light. I want to get to the law of rhythm now, or the swinging of the pendulum, which states that everything is cyclical, okay? And everything is subject to change. Change is always around the corner. So basically, inspired action can only benefit you so long as you move in accordance to the law of rhythm, which compels you to spiritually take correct universal polarity. So now you want to be on the right side of the system. You want to make sure that when your actions and your spirit are on the right side of the spectrum in order to get the right correspondence, in order to activate the law of attraction, in order to activate the perpetual law of the transmutation of energy, bro. Okay? So basically, just like the Bible says, right, in each of us are two wolves. Which one wins is the one you feed the most. In regards to the law of attraction and manifestation, as I see it, this is what the Spirit is telling me. In regards to those two wolves, this is the polarity. So if you're operating on the bad side of the polarity, but you're praying for good things, now we got a distortion in the universe. That energy can't tether itself and manifest itself in your life. This is what I've been able to see within my own life in my early years. Why certain opportunities didn't culminate. Why I missed certain opportunities, right? And then by miss, I mean I can actually be dead set in the opportunity and miss it because I wasn't spiritually aligned to know that this was an opportunity that I needed to take advantage of. Take the blinders off. As far as I can tell, universal law actually operates in universal order. There's actually an order to the universe. There's actually an order of operations. Rather, we can actually figure that out. I don't know. Do I have it all figured out? Absolutely not. But I have a very strong spiritual gift and I'm walking my path. And the people on TikTok, the people on these other platforms, they were able to see it. Now I'm about to contribute the bulk of this energy to YouTube. I'm about to flood y'all with this soul and this spiritual sense. And that's what I'm doing. So as far as I can tell, there is an order of operations to universal laws. And when you are able to move, this is what I'm able to see. When you're able to move in that alignment, you start to get a different response, you start to correspond with the universe differently. For example, depending on what your zodiac is, what energy you under, what sun, moon, yada, 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 right? Your numerology report, all these things do actually matter. And when you start to do the math, do the research, put it all together, you can kind of see, damn, they're just like seasons change in life. There's actually a season for you to go hard in your business, in your creation. Some of us are trying to manifest a thing, even myself at times. I'll be working so hard, not realizing, dang, I'm out of universal alignment. Because now it's not the season to do a full court press. Now it's the season to withhold that energy, to be defensive. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to attack the basket. And it's through moving out of that alignment, through that constant attack, that you don't realize you need to reevaluate your actions during this period of time, that we're going to continue to bump our heads against the wall and not correspond with the universe in the way that we wish, right? Because we're not going with the change, right? The only thing you got to really keep in mind a lot of the time is the aspect of change, actually. Because if you're not changing when energy is changing, and you're keeping your energy the same, but the energy that's supposed to help you get there is not matching your frequency, but you're being blind, you're never going to make this connection. And this is what I'm seeing. I'm telling you, the spirit is working in me. This is really how I'm seeing it play out. Like, I'm seeing the code, the cheat code. It's like, dog, you have to actually go in alignment with the universe and God. The minute you step out of that is the minute you start to fail. Take a look at your own life, bro. This goes for all of us. If you really look at yourself and the things that you were trying to do, accomplish, you got to be able to really connect the dots. You can only do that looking back. So you have to take introspection. You have to reflect. If you reflect, I believe if you reflect in truth about the situation in yourself, you'll be able to pick up the keys as to what you did wrong and why you was out of alignment, why certain things happen. Inevitably, you won't always be able to get the answers to a lot of these things, but sometimes you will. You will, and these are very important passages in your story. There is actual universal application to these Bibles, and there's universal application to the science behind universal law. This goes across the board. They are both true in their own right. It's about us figuring out how they both connect together. We have to connect the dots. And that's what I'm attempting to do in this passage. Break down how you can easily see from the spirit of the religious to the spirit of the universe, it's all saying the same shit. In truth. And we have to figure out how to empower ourselves as a nation and take back control of our planet. I hope this makes sense. I reiterate, upon the correct application of these laws, like the minute you start to use them the right way, you will start to see how the order of operation takes place. Through the engagement of the universe, like through engaging the universe correctly, you automatically offset other universal laws into play. And it's just about going with the swing of that pendulum. I want to repeat my passage from the beginning. Good morning, good evening, good night. No matter where you on this planet, I'm sending you love and light. I'm gone.